What is up, everybody? It's BC9 4XYZ, and today I'm going to touch up on a topic that has been plaguing the gaming community for a long time. Welcome to my channel, welcome to my vlog. This is a vlog for this specific question that has been, like I said, plaguing the community. So, it's 2015. We're heading into the new generation of consoles, so you could say, and you want a new console, you want to get a new console, but you don't know what to do. So the question is simple. Unfortunately, the answer is extremely complicated and could go on for hours upon hours. With some people, it could go on for days. But essentially, it is Xbox One or PS4? That is the main question. Unfortunately, there's a billion answers that you can hear. There's a billion things that you'll say. There's a billion things that, go into each of these consoles that you could talk about. But I'm going to touch up on a few of the things today. I'm aware that this is kind of an awkward angle. I wanted to kind of get both consoles in here and my face at the same time, so bear with me. We're going to touch up things today like what goes into this, what goes into each console, why, what are we looking at in terms of what we want. So here we go. So first thing to talk about right now is price. The price has changed. As of this video, they are both the same, but that was not the case when it started. When launch happened, the PS4 was $400 and the Xbox One was $500. That has since changed. The reason why this was more expensive was because the Xbox One had also a Kinect and had a game to go with it. Okay? So it eventually ended up being about $500. Since that's what I got. I have a launch edition, by the way. Since then, that has changed. Since then, it is Microsoft has stripped away the Kinect, and Microsoft has said no more. So it was $400 for a long time. Then this weekend, or not this weekend, excuse me, this past holiday, they dropped the price even more so to $350. That includes a bundle. That includes Xbox One plus a game. That could go a long way. Of course, that was without the Kinect. Of course, the Kinect is no longer sold with the Xbox One anymore. Now it's just sold separately. And as of a couple of days ago, I think the 5th of January, the Xbox One has gone back to $400. The PS4, on the other hand, has remained the same price for a long time. It has been, for the entire run, it has been $400. But, of course, it's still the best-selling console to date, and I think that's also because it had a weak advance when it came to launch. For the Xbox One launched a week later than the PS4, but, again, that doesn't really make much of a difference, to be honest. So the point is that both these consoles are the same price now, so price is not going to matter. As for specs, I have not looked up specs. I don't really care about specs. If you care about specs, you can look it up. When it comes to what you want, I'm sure that each console is almost as equally powerful. When it comes to specs, that's usually how it works. At least that's the way it was with the PS3 and the Xbox 360. But I can't imagine the specs being much different for each console. I mean, it might be different. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. The next thing to talk about is design. Both of them are pretty much box-shaped. I mean, as you can see in front of you. Both of them are pretty much the same design, so to speak. The only thing that's different about these consoles is the fact that this is slanted in the front. For those of you who can't see, it is slanted in the front, as you can see. And it's kind of like a rhombus shape almost, which is kind of cool. The Xbox is a box. I mean, that's kind of in the title. It's an Xbox. So, what do you call it? It's not really that fancy when it comes to the design. When it comes to ports in the back, or when it comes to ports in general, actually, the PlayStation 4, if you look here, the PlayStation 4, if you can see, yes you can, has 2 USB ports in the front and a disk drive in the front as well. That is something that I think the PS4 has an advantage with. And the reason I say that is because the Xbox One, as you can see, doesn't have any ports in the front. It just has the disk drive and the Xbox button. The port is actually over here on the side, which can be a bit bulky sometimes, and it's kind of annoying when it comes to actual game mechanics and actual, like, usage. I don't like having to move my Xbox when I have to charge my controller, for instance. Now, when it comes to the back, I think the Xbox is a bit better. If you look at the back of the PlayStation 4, you can see there's all the ports, right? Obviously. But the thing that's the problem is that they're slanted. And this design actually is covering all of the ports. So it's very hard to reach if you're not, it's very hard to reach if you're not pulling it off the shelf, if you're just trying to do it, like, by yourself, like, with no sense of looking capabilities. When it comes to looking back behind the console, you can't really see anything. You don't really have any visuals. Now, the Xbox One is different. The Xbox One is a flat surface, as you can see. It's pretty simple, you know? It's flat. It's completely flat. You can access it very easily, I think, in my opinion. And I think that's why I think the Xbox One wins when it comes to design for the back of the console. So, when it comes to design, I think the PlayStation 4 looks prettier, but the Xbox One is more accessible. And I think that, in all honesty, either one is fine. Either one looks really pretty up on the shelf. It really doesn't matter. So I think if you're willing to deal with, like me, if you're willing to deal with putting taking the PlayStation 4 off the shelf and using it and trying to plug things in physically, that's fine. The Xbox One is simpler to plug things in. Just simple fact of the day. But each console is pretty. I think that PS4 is prettier, personally, but I think that the Xbox One is more innovative. So the next thing to talk about then, after the design, is the controller. I don't have... you know what I'll do? I'll put a picture up. What do you call it? This is the Xbox One controller right here, and if I'm going to put a picture right there, I think, of the 360 controller. As you can see, it's not much different than the Xbox 360 controller, but it has made major improvements. Major improvements. By the way, I have a skin on mine, that's why it's white. So, what are we looking at here? So, basically, you know, everything is in the same place. I like the fact that now, when you push the Xbox button, that actually lights up now. And what I mean by that is it's not like, you know, a green circle. I mean, it actually, the physical button lights up, which is really cool. The triggers have bumpers on the bottom of them now. So now it feels... Excuse me. So now it feels like you're actually pushing the button, which is really nice. The other major improvement is here. This is something that people have been asking for. It's a D-pad. It's an actual D-pad, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Xbox finally has a D-pad. But what do you call it? That's really all the major improvements to the Xbox One controller. It's really not that different from the 360 controller. It looks fine. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's very, very effective. Excuse me, and I think that it's a great controller. End of story. I mean, it's an improvement on the already incredible 360 controller. So that's that, you know. The next one is the DualShock 4. The DualShock 4, I think, for the PlayStation 4 is a major improvement on the DualShock 3. I never owned a PlayStation 3, but I did play DualShock 3, and I did play a PlayStation 3, and it just looks so much better and feels so much better, in my opinion. As you can see from the previous picture, the biggest change here is the touchpad. I think that is the biggest change here. It's a fantastic touchpad. It's a fantastic controller. Buttons are obviously all in the same place. Joysticks in the same place. There's a microphone here now. That's something that's different. There's a microphone for this controller specifically, which can be kind of annoying when you're playing a PS4 game, because sometimes it does capture the microphone on here but not in the game. So sometimes when I'm recording, it doesn't pick up what's being displayed here, especially when that was the case in Killzone Shadowfall. It didn't like my microphone here. But overall, I think it's a beautiful controller. The only annoying thing that I will say is that it does have this light in the back that is always on if the controller's on. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's what do you call it? It's like, it reflects off the screen sometimes, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Usually, you're not even distracted by it. So, the DualShock 4, I think, in my opinion, wins over the Xbox One controller, and the reason for that is because the DualShock 4 just has so much more innovative stuff. I think the touchpad alone is a huge plus to having a PlayStation 4. I cannot imagine now a game controller without a touchpad now because of the DualShock 4, so I think that it'll be, I think that Sony will once again redefine gaming because of this touchpad. But that is the controller aspect. The next thing you want to look at is games. Okay, so which games are better for which console? Well, some people, if you know which games are exclusives to these consoles, you've probably already chosen your console. You know, a lot of people will go for the Xbox One because, in fact, I'm going to just move this up a little bit. So a lot of people will go for the Xbox One because of Halo. I mean, there's a lot of Halo fanatics out there, and the Master Chief Collection did come out for the Xbox One only, and I mean, yes, it was kind of a mess at launch, but it did improve. It has improved so far, anyway. I have not purchased it. I've looked at videos of people trying to connect online. It's just not working. But a lot of people are going to choose the Xbox because of Halo. On the other hand, a lot of people are going to choose the PlayStation 4 because of Uncharted. There are a lot of Uncharted fanatics out there. There are some people that love Uncharted. I mean, I think it's a great game. I wouldn't choose it personally. I wouldn't choose that console for that reason. But I think a lot of people are going to choose this because of Uncharted. I think a lot of people are also going to choose this because of the Order 1886. That was a huge game that was supposed to be released at the PlayStation 4's launch and then got delayed a year. But that's a huge game that everyone loves. Another thing is Killzone. A lot of people love Killzone. I mean, Killzone Shadowfall was weird, in my opinion, but it was fine to me. I mean, I still liked it. I think it was cool. It was cool. It really used innovative future technology and applied it to a truly next-gen experience. I think that was cool. But then again, the Xbox also now has Tomb Raider. Xbox just bought the rights to a Tomb Raider, so now Tomb Raider's an Xbox exclusive now. Who knows how long that's going to last, but at the same time, who knows? I mean, it could be an exclusive forever now, and a lot of people were mad a lot of PlayStation people were mad because the Tomb Raider franchise was bought by Xbox, or should I say Microsoft, and I find that very interesting that people are mad because it's a great game. It's a Tomb Raider. The first one was the reboot from 2013 was just incredible. Another Xbox exclusive is Gears of War. Microsoft just officially bought Gears of War now. So Gears of War, for those of you who love Gears of War, are in luck. You're going to have Gears of War on your Xbox One. I am not a Gears of War fan. I really don't care about Gears of War, but Gears of War is something that is for the Xbox. Now, when it comes to which console to buy games on, if you have both consoles, it's a determination of which controller feels more comfortable for which genre. I like playing first-person shooters on the Xbox because the Xbox controller is a very first-person shooter controller. It's very comfortable. On the other hand, I still love playing Assassin's Creed on my Xbox. I'm going to be playing Unity on my Xbox soon, actually. I was determining to buy Unity for the PS4, but I didn't want to because of the buttons. So, you know, it really is a determination for which cross-platform game, which console you want to buy it for. You know, it's interesting. So when it comes to games, I think personally right now the Xbox One has a much better lineup than the PlayStation 4 does. A lot of people are going to buy PlayStation 4 because of Naughty Dog. A lot of people love Naughty Dog. A lot of people love The Last of Us. A lot of people love Uncharted. A lot of people love Beyond Souls 2 Suspects. I think that's what it was called. I think that's what it was called. I forget. But but what do you call it? I think the Xbox One right now has a lot of better exclusives right now. I think it has a lot more to do with gaming right now. I think it's got a lot of really cool games. It also has, I completely forgot, it also has Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive is completely Xbox One exclusive. It's not even Xbox 360. So it's interesting, you know. It's interesting to look at which one you'd want to buy. A lot of people are going to buy PS4 as well because of Destiny. I think Bungie has made it clear that Destiny is being made more so for the PS4 rather than the Xbox One. But and a lot of people, so I think a lot of people are also going to buy it because of Destiny on the PS4. Destiny was an awesome game. Obviously, it's incomplete, but it's an awesome game. So you've got a lot of great exclusives. But once again, I think the Xbox One wins for exclusives. And the last thing to touch up on is operating system. Which one's more innovative, which one's more user-friendly. If you want a much more simpler design, go for the PlayStation 4. And I say that because the PlayStation 4 is a console that, I'm trying to find the words here, it's a console that has a very simple interface, okay? It gives you a news feed in what's new, and then it also gives you a rack of games. What's up? Sorry about that, guys. I had to just do something really quickly. But we were talking about operating system. I would seriously go for the PS4 if you wanted a more simpler design. And the reason for that is because, like I said, you have your news feed, and then you literally have a rack of games, and then you just scroll up and you have all the settings. It's very easy to work with. Everything is in the right place. Everything is where it should be. And the PS4, I think, is much better when it comes to simplicity. On the other hand, you have your Xbox One. The Xbox One, the menu system is a bit confusing at first, but once you figure it out, it is very easy to use. You know, it's one of those consoles where it's like menus upon menus upon menus upon menus, but again, once you figure out where you're going, it's easy to figure it out. And when in doubt, if you get lost, just click the home button to start over. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal, honestly. As for the what the consoles do, I guess you could say, the PS4 is a gaming console. That's it. It's a gaming console. It's a console for your games, okay? The Xbox One does a whole hell of a lot more, okay? And I think that's why it had such frame rate issues during launch, was because it was just too much for the console itself to handle physically. Both consoles obviously stream Netflix and Hulu, but the Xbox One streams live TV and also streams some TV channels that are exclusive to, cable company owners. So, like, for instance, I have Xfinity, and I like to stream my HBO, my Showtime, my Cinemax, all my premium channels on my Xbox One console, and the Xbox One console is the only one that can do that. The PS4 can't do that. So it also, of course, they both have Blu-ray players, but I have found that the Xbox One Blu-ray player is actually a little bit clearer than the PS4 one. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not, but I don't know. So if you want a system that takes care of all of your living room entertainment and takes care of basically all your TV and your games and your music and your DVDs all in one, Xbox One for sure. The PS4 can stream Netflix and play games, and that's it. But then again, if you want just a gaming console, that's perfect for you, That does more than enough, I think. And because this doesn't do as much, sometimes on some games, the graphics performance is actually a lot better on the PS4 than it is on the One, especially for things like Call of Duty Ghosts, for instance. That game looked very, very pixelated on here, whereas opposed to, relatively speaking, compared to, Xbox 360 anyway. It still looked better than the 360, of course. But, the PS4's graphics performance has been flawless from launch on. And luckily, the Xbox One is back up to those standards again. At launch, it wasn't, but now it is. A couple more things to touch on. Loading times is something that has really, really suffered for the Xbox One. The PS4 has very, very fast loading times. If you put a disc in and literally it installs like almost within 2 minutes. There are times where on the Xbox One I have had to wait 30 minutes for a game to install. Call of Duty Ghosts was one of those. Call of Duty Ghosts was an atrocious loading time. That was unacceptable. That was like an hour, I think. So the Xbox One does have a bad reputation for loading times, and that is something that has plagued it from launch and still does plague the console. They have made some improvements to it since then, but it's still sometimes, like, if you have a good internet connection, it will take maybe 10 minutes to install the disc contents onto the console, but if you get an update, for instance, sometimes the updates take 25 minutes, which can be kind of annoying, but in all honesty, that's not really a big deal to me. I can just do something else while it installs. But, sometimes I did get kind of disappointed when I really wanted to play a game, and it had to update, and I had to wait, and then after the update ended, I didn't want to play the game anymore, So, I understand why some people would be frustrated with loading times. I'm not personally frustrated with loading times that much. I am frustrated, however, with waiting. So that is something that I just find something else to do. And the only thing left to talk about, I guess, is online service. Both networks, the PlayStation Network and the Xbox Live Network, are very good networks. I have tended to have more luck, I think, with Xbox Live than I have with PlayStation Now. And I think the reason for that is because Xbox Live was one of the first online networks, and it's got an incredible reputation for smooth performance. And I've had very little problems with Xbox Live. signing on. There are some times where, sometimes something blips or something, but PlayStation Now, I have had, this is my first PlayStation, by the way, I have had so many problems getting online with PlayStation Now. I really hope that they fix this network soon, because that is something that I've been very disappointed with. Also, I've had more bad experiences with people on PlayStation Now than I have with Xbox Live. That might just be coincidence. That probably is just coincidence, but I've had some very rude people on PS Now, and I've had virtually no rude people at all on Xbox Live. Again, that's probably just a coincidence. I don't think that defines a gaming community at all, but that is what I've experienced, and I would strongly recommend Xbox Live over PS Now. Xbox Live is just more concrete, more solid performance-wise, and has very little problems running. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Xbox One versus the PS4. My final decision, I choose the Xbox One over the PS4 personally. That doesn't mean I don't like the PlayStation 4, I play games on both of them. I play an equal amount of games on both of them. I would just say the Xbox One does more what I want it to do. It does more stuff. It does a lot of, things. For a college student in a college dorm room without cable, it's very easy to just turn on my Xbox One and stream a TV show that I've wanted to watch. The PlayStation can't do that, unless it's Netflix or Hulu. It can do Hulu, but you never know. But, I think just for a college student, I think that the Xbox One is a better console for me personally. That's just my personal decision, though. I'm not an Xbox junkie. I'm not a PS4 junkie. I am a gamer. I'm a person who loves games. I'm a person who loves consoles, and I think both consoles are fantastic. Either one you're going to be happy with. Either controller you're going to be happy with. Either console for game exclusives you're going to be happy with. So you will be happy. No matter what you buy, you'll be happy. You could just make the most of it and buy both. That's what I did. Obviously, because I have both consoles right in front of me. But, it's a long debate. It's a long debate that could go on for hours upon hours. I've cut it short to around 30 minutes. So that about wraps it up for this one. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Thanks for watching my opinions. Thanks for watching this video, and thank you for viewing my channel. If you get a chance to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, well, that's okay with me too. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on a walkthrough or a vlog of some kind. Take care, guys.